Diamond Forest here, or you may know me as Hoops with Dime, and welcome back to On the Dime. And I'm here with the one and only Jordan Danberry, defensive dog, combo guard from Mississippi State University.
Conway is like a close town. Well, when I grew up, it's gotten a lot bigger since I've graduated high school. But when I grew up, we still got one high school, one public high school, and we were kind of divided into sides growing up. So you had white side and you had blue side in Conway. So since I was in the second, third grade, everything has been a competition of schools, or white side versus blue side. So we just kind of grew up in that competitive mindset off rip. And so like elementary school, we'll have a league where we're going against the different elementary schools, and then once you get to middle school, you got white side and blue side, all the way up until you get to high school where you come back together. So it was just like a close-knit group, close family type of environment, I would say. And that could be, I was just that kid that was in every part of the town and was in everybody's family. Everybody accepted me to be in their family, so I knew a lot of people. And even when I go home today, I'm like, oh, those my people, that's my family. You just never know whose house I'm gonna be at.
Okay, so you was named Gatorade Player, Arkansas Gatorade Player of the Year back-to-back, 2014, 2015.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie, your accolades go crazy. let me let the people know. 5-star recruit from ESPN coming out of high school, ranked 47 overall nationally, number 14 point guard out of the 2015 class, top recruit out of Arkansas. So, like, all these accolades, you know what I'm saying, coming out of high school, like, with your age now, I ain't gonna pronounce, you know, how old you are, you know. But, like, how does that still move you in the same way?
I take a lot of pride in that. Just, you know, growing up, I really didn't even know what those awards were until I received that award at my junior year. So I never was big on, like, the awards, the rankings, because I just knew I was gonna compete every day. It didn't matter who it was. I actually looked forward to playing against those top players of the country and things like that, because I just wanted to compete to see if they were really, you know, that player. But I'm blessed to walk into, you know, my high school gym and see my banner hanging up, or 2 banners hanging up, and it's only I think a total of maybe 4 or 5 in the whole school, and I got 2 of them. So I'm proud of that. I'm proud of that. Back then I was like, oh, it don't really mean too much to me. I'm glad I got the award, but like now I feel like that's really built my character and made me who I am today, just because I've been consistently putting in the work.
So you decided to stay home once you committed, like, fresh out of high school to the University of Arkansas. Would you mind discussing that experience?
Yeah, I mean, hometown kid, Gatorade Player of the Year. I really wanted to play for my home state, and I had chances, you know, to go out of state, go to some other schools, but to me, like, just being from Arkansas, I take pride in playing for my home state, home school. So I just wanted to go there and put Arkansas on the map and show them, like, yeah, we got some hoopers. And we still got a lot of hoopers that come from Arkansas and go to different schools. But I wanted to kind of start the change of players staying in state, because I think we had a couple, like, McDonald's All-Americans and stuff like that went out of state to play for other schools, but I just wanted to, you know, be the first one to stay home and actually try to put them on the map. But, you know, that experience for me was really a learning experience, I would say, a growing experience, because my freshman year, I mean, I was just too comfortable. Like, I'm at home and I'm 2 hours away, so I was very comfortable in the environment I was in. I knew a lot of people in that area. I went back home a lot because it was just a 2-hour drive. So, you know, to me, why not? I miss my friends, I miss my family, everybody back home. So I feel like that kind of limited me a sort of way, just because I was like, if anything doesn't go my way, I can go home. I will not change it.
Except for what it is. So while you're talking about you transferring, the second half of your college career, you decided to go to state. So, like, can you talk about what brought you to state and what made you commit under, like, the legendary Big Saber?
Yeah. So Mississippi State really was, like, on my list when I was in high school. They recruited me out of high school, but because I was just stuck on not leaving, and it's funny because all my life I wanted to leave out of Arkansas, get out of Arkansas. And then my second year, I was like, nah, I want to stay home. So I didn't even take the visit to Mississippi State, because I was like, well, Mississippi and Arkansas, they right by each other. They're about the same. I'm not going to Mississippi. I'd rather just, go to Arkansas, but
That was fine. I ain't gonna lie. That was nice. But like watching your defense was like, you set the tone, and like one time you was playing Louisiana, you got a block, and then you laid it up on the other, and I was like, okay, she's a crazy hooper. Like, you're insane.
Yeah.
So like watching that transition and bringing that, intensity on defense and changing the culture a little bit, because guards, y'all set the tone. How was that like coming and setting into a new program and creating identity for yourself here?
Yeah, it was really tough for me, especially being in the middle of the year. So it's like a difference between non-conference preparation and then SEC conference preparation. Now, I played against the SEC only 1 year prior to me coming to state, and I was told my freshman year that I had all SEC defense. I didn't know what that meant. Had that in my head the whole time, that I got SEC defense, I can guard anybody. And then taking on the challenge when I got to state, I have Victoria Vivians I got to guard. I got to guard Roshonda Johnson, Morgan Williams, Blair. So it's like having to guard all these kids or all these people every day, all these great players every day, only made me better. So, iron sharpening iron every day. But my first day of practice, it was tough for me. I actually ran up and down the court maybe 4 or 5 times. Well, this is like the 4th or 5th drill. And so after the 3rd time, I think in this last drill that we did, is a bunch of transition up and down. And I just had to go to the sideline and I puked everywhere, all on myself. And so in my mindset, I'm thinking, so if I get my uniform, I can sit out the rest of practice. I went into the locker room, I changed, got myself together, and they blessed me with a whole new practice uniform, socks, undershirt, shoes, and they were like, get back out there. And I was like, oh, okay, so this is what we're doing. So, and that was just like an eye-opener, because, my old school, if something like that was to happen, I'm really done for the day, because I don't feel my best. But they told me that was just the weakness leaving my body. And so I was like, oh, okay. Okay, so I accepted it. I like challenges like that. I like tough coaches for, don't just let me be comfortable and just sit out, because that's the comfortable thing to do. Like, push me.
So while being that stage, how did Coach Schaefer help you grow on and off the court?
He really just demanded excellence. Like you said, he's very intense. He's very demanding. And so he demands your best every day, whatever your best is. You may not feel good, you may not play good, but we expect you to go hard the whole time. We expect you to communicate still. We expect you to do the non-negotiables, hustle, stuff that doesn't require a lot of talent and skill. And so just consistently, watching him consistently coach, I know like in the games we'll be up 30 points and he's still coaching us to the extreme, yelling at us for, not getting back on defense or missing an assignment, and it's like 2 minutes left in the game and we're up 30. And I didn't understand that as a player, but now as I'm in my adult life, it's like how you do anything is how you do everything. And if you consistently work and work, success is gonna come. So every day at practice, it wasn't pretty. It was tough, it was tiring. But by the end of each year, we were always trying to, play in that final game. And we made it to that final game 2 years, and we still made it, to Elite Eights, Final Fours, and stuff like that. But it just showed me that if you continue to show up and do the work, success gonna happen.
So I gotta ask about the game.
Yeah.
All Mississippians just absolutely hate.
Right.
Y'all was right there, and Enrique Gumawale hit that game winning five. You know Enrique is my goal. Like, I don't play by Enrique Gumawale. So could you please talk about that on the floor experience? Of course, everybody watched it, but how was that experience for you? And
it really was a roller coaster of emotions, I would say. Because at halftime, we're up, we're going to the locker room, we're excited, the energy is up and everything, and it's like, y'all, we got this, just one more half. And then that second half was just, of course, great teams do that. They adjust, they make adjustments, coaches make adjustments, and they did that, and they came back in the game, and then it went down to the wire, the last second, literally. And so I just remember, us being on the bench, just really watching the last few minutes of the game, and then I look up at the scoreboard and it's a tie game, and I'm just like, whoa. And I know it was like a series where Morgan got fouled at half court, Tierra got fouled out, and then you got the last possession with maybe 3-4 seconds left. And so I didn't think the shot was gonna go in, really. But then it started, the closer it got to the rim, it was looking like it was gonna go in, and I was like, wow. And you could just kind of hear the silence. Of course, the arena was loud, but I've never been in a position where it's so loud and so silent at the same time, because our bench was completely silent and just couldn't realize, like, couldn't believe that, you know, that ball actually went in. Yeah.
Yeah. Go get in the gym now. Hey, she can do it. I can do it. I promise you. That's crazy.
And I give all her flowers and credit. She's a dog. She's a great player. So if anybody had to hit the shot on us, you know, it was gonna be Enrique.
SEC defensive team, second team all SEC. Like, would you mind talking about the preparation, the mindset? You know, knowing that you got the extra year, how personal it was to you?
Yeah, it was definitely personal. Cause I feel like sometimes, you know, the defensive guards, we get overlooked sometimes at the end of the year when you have multiple teams. Like, SEC is one of the best conferences for women's basketball, and I may be biased, but it is the best conference for women's basketball, in my opinion. So you have all these powerhouses competing against each other, all these great players. So I understand how it's hard to, like, choose one person, but my assignment every night was to guard, you know, the best player on the opposing team. And so I feel like how our season played, I did my job, I did a good job, but I still didn't make, you know, those end of the season lists. To me, it was kind of like a slap in the face that I didn't get any acknowledgement. So that 5th year, I was coming with, you know, that on my mind, a chip on my shoulder that my name should be mentioned as well in these conversations, because I just show up and compete every day. And so I was able to do that, and I had that mindset the whole year that I was just, you know, gonna kill everybody. I was just gonna be a dog and do what I need to do, especially with these young kids behind me, just showing them the culture. No, Iceland was very different. I think the biggest culture shock to me was they only have 2 seasons. So in the summertime, you have the summertime and the wintertime. In the summertime, you have like 23 hours of daylight. It could be anywhere from 20 to 23. So I remember one day, like my first week, it was 10 o'clock, and I didn't even know it was 10 o'clock because the sun was still outside just shining. And so in the wintertime, it's the complete opposite. So you only get like 3 hours of daylight in the wintertime. And yeah, and it's dark the whole day. So those were 2 things that I were kind of like struggling with, my sleeping and having curtains in the windows, because I couldn't operate. I couldn't go to sleep because the sun was shining. So that was a big culture shock. But most of it, they're kind of Americanized, I would say, a little bit with their culture. They spoke a lot of English, so that was great for me. I learned some Icelandic, but the Icelandic language is so hard to learn, being that it's an old language and not many people speak it. So I was able to coach and play in Iceland. And I feel like when I left Iceland, the biggest thing to me that I missed was the coaching aspect. And so it just kind of opened my eyes up to see like what my passion really was or what my purpose was. And I feel like it's more impactful to be, you know, on this side coaching more so than to be playing overseas. Like, I love the game, I love everything about it, but I just feel like coaching is where I need to be. And Coach Schaefer used to always ask us this question: do you want to impress people or impact people? And this is the first question he asked me, like, on my visit, and my answer was impress, because I really didn't know the difference between it. Yeah, I'm like, yeah, I want to impress you. And then he really just showed me, like, you should be impactful more than impressing people, because it's, you know, it's an overall reach. It's more meaning behind, you know, being impactful.
All right, so now we're here. You're Coach Danberry. So, like, was this in your ultimate goal, was to get into coaching, or just something you discovered as you progressed?
Yeah, I never wanted to coach. I never wanted to really be working with youth. I didn't see myself doing that. I just seen myself, like, kind of traveling, being a business person. That's what I went to school for, you know, business. So, and I actually tried to have like I had a finance job for a couple years, and, you know, went corporate business and things like that, and realized that I really just didn't like it like that. I didn't feel like I was being impactful. Like, it was a job, you know, paid well, all those things, cool, but I really wanted to make an impact. So I think I started at Mississippi State when I started really working with the youth. We had a girls mentoring program, and it's funny because I actually worked with a group from Jackson is when I met them. back in 2019 and started the first mentoring girls group in Starkville Middle School, at Armstrong Middle School. And so that's when I really got to look at like being around kids, and this is not just basketball players, these are just youth in general. And so once after that experience, I was like, yeah, I feel like I can teach the youth some things from my own personal experiences. I see myself in a lot of these kids, and I just been through a lot of things, and so I just feel like I know that I can help somebody else navigate, you know, their emotions or their experience as well. So and now I'm here, like, and I'm glad that I decided to enter into this side of basketball, because it's very rewarding. They teach me as much as I teach them. So
my question is, like, you're from Arkansas, and you decided to come to Jackson. Like, you know, what made you come to Jackson, Mississippi?
Yeah. Well, initially, you know, I just had a job out here, and I was like, you know, I'm a Mississippi State grad. You know, it's easier to network when you have Mississippi State, you know, behind you, backing you, especially, you know, Mississippi State, Ole Miss. So, you know, that's just the truth. If you got those two schools, then, you know, people gonna hire you. So I came out here for a job, and I was able to network with some people and meet a lot of people, and I feel like I found my tribe, and it led me, you know, to this gym, to the ARC, and to multiple coaches and AAU programs, and now I just feel like, you know, I belong here. Like, it's a big family. I've always said Mississippi was my second family ever since Starkville, just because from the bus drivers to the teachers to the students to, you know, kitchen workers, everybody's just so friendly. Like, it's just hospitable, I guess. They just, you know, show love, and I'm one of those people who just show genuine love. So I was like, yeah, I need to be around more people here, and I feel like, you know, it's work to do here. It's a lot of work to be done, and it starts with the youth. So, you know, why not be here? Why not stay when you see, you know, something that needs to be fixed?
As you're going through this coaching journey, what is one thing that you really want to teach, you know, these girls or whoever you come across throughout this journey, you know, on and off the court?
Yeah, so I recently just came from a team camp at Jones, and the coach there really just summed it up for me. Basically, what I teach my girls is it's not what happens to you, it's how you respond to what happens to you. And so when he said that in our meeting, I was just like, that's exactly it. That's exactly what we teach them every day. It's all about going through adversity, responding to things that's gonna cause problems in your life, because whether on the court or off the court, you're gonna always have something, a hurdle that you have to get through. And so you just have to learn to accept it for what it is, and then find out how you're gonna respond to it. I tell them all the time, control what you can control. So we can't control what the refs do, we can't control what the other players do, we can't control what your mama done said to you before. All we can control is what we do, who we hang with, what we doing with those people when we hang out, what we putting into our bodies, you know, how we spending our time, things of those natures, our attitudes, you know, what we say and what we don't say. So we can control all of those things, and if you can control that, then everything else should be fine. I feel like it's just easy for me to, you know, give back, because a lot of people have given to me as a child. I was that kid who I always needed a ride into town, because we stayed on the outskirts of Conway. So if I needed a ride into town, out of town, from practice, my mom was at work, so, you know, I had family that'll step in. I have friends, teammates, parents who will step in, and just people just in the community in general who will step in and, you know, help me get to this place or feed me or do that. And it's easy to do that to these kids, because it's like, I was you before. I needed a ride, I'd take you here. I needed some food, I'd take you here. Because I know, I mean, the economy right now is bad. And we in Mississippi, so we can't front like we don't know what's going on. So where we can help, we try to.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's real. Is there anything you like to tell?
You know, the only thing I really want to tell people is, you know, don't underestimate kids. Don't underestimate the youth. Pour into them, find a way to communicate to them, because they understand a lot more than what we think. And if we just take the time to spend time with them, to teach them, to educate them, to show them something different, I feel like that'll just change everybody's mindset one step at a time, and that's just headed into the right direction. But don't underestimate them. These kids are smarter than we think, and they are the future leaders of tomorrow. So if we don't invest in them, who will?
Jordan, I want to thank you again for allowing me to sit down with you and learn who you are and your story. I think that was the importance of me wanting to sit down with you. I was like, when I did my research on you, I was like, this lady has like a phenomenal background. I feel like I need to hear your story, you know, the purpose, your plan. So I really appreciate you for being willing to share that with me and those who are watching.
Thank you.
Thank y'all for tuning in with On the Dime, and I'll be back with more. I ain't gonna lie, yo, your girls they lucky. I wish I would have had like an SEC legend to coach me. Like I would be like, you know,
Thank
can
you.
we do this? Are you gonna run down the bleachers? Are you gonna run down the street?